Така, здравейте всички, добре дошли на поредния реакшън видео, където много се радвам, че отново съм тук, въпреки че доста дълго време не съм правил реакшън видео. Особено на това, което ще гледаме сега, което е Dead Battle, разбира се, където това ще гледаме Venom vs. Bane. Сигурно си го помните и предните два епизода, дето гледах, когато беше 2016 година, ама вече спрях да гледаме, разбира се, ама не се предадох, разбира се. Изобщо не се спрах с реакшън клиповете, ако другите няма да се спрат, иначе аз няма. Тъй, че сега ще гледаме Venom vs. Bane. Тъй, че let's begin!
Every champion of justice inspires others, whether they mean to or not.
And sometimes that inspiration creates your worst nightmare.
Venom, the ultimate antithesis to Spider-Man.
And Bane, the burly genius who broke the bat. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The word symbiosis refers to two organisms living in beneficial harmony, such as when two beings bond over an obsessive, psychotic desire to kill Spider-Man.
Eddie Brock was an up-and-coming journalist on the brink of national success when life decided to just shit all over him.
One day, Eddie published an article incriminating a man he thought was a serial killer. However, that very same day, Spider-Man caught the real killer, publicly shaming Eddie. As a result, Eddie's company fired him, his father disowned him, and his wife left him. Also, he had cancer.
Damn, talk about a bad day. Understandably pretty upset about it, Eddie blamed Spider-Man for ruining his life. This led to his fateful meeting with a weird black gooey alien. Remember Gak from the 90s? It's just like that, except alive and evil.
This was a symbiote from the planet Clintar, an alien species with one goal: to grow stronger by fusing with a living host. I know that sounds intimidating and almost parasitic, but the Clintar people are naturally a peaceful race. However, they often inherit their host's traits and personality. This symbiote in particular had previously bonded with a violent alien bent on genocide and a costume superhero everybody knows as Deadpool.
That crazy lunatic? Oh, there's no way this symbiote is sane after that.
It wasn't. Afterward, it bonded with Spider-Man, who experienced this rage and lunacy firsthand. Horrified by this, Spider-Man eventually discarded the symbiote. Unaware the alien had determined Spidey was its ideal host and became obsessed with him.
Much like bar trash Cindy that sometimes you go home with but never really want to see her again. So what do you get when you combine an angry man and a black goo monster both hatefully obsessed with the same guy? Most just call him Venom.
Did you know Eddie came up with the name Venom because he felt he was spewing venom from the tabloids he worked at?
Seriously? I give that origin a 3 out of 10. Thank God the name's cool at least, and Venom's abilities are even cooler. He's insanely strong, ridiculously agile, and has a fast-paced healing factor. He can power through bullets with no problem at all. Plus, the symbiote carries some of the abilities of its previous owners, including Spidey. That means he can climb on walls and shoot webbing strong enough that Spidey himself can't break through.
Technically speaking, Venom simply reproduces the webbing effects via one of his more useful powers, shape-shifting. This symbiote can act as a liquid, allowing it to increase Venom's size for intimidation, or even mimic Eddie's everyday clothing for discretion.
Not to mention, Venom can morph into a wingsuit to glide through the air, isolate and purge toxins from its host's body, straight up turn invisible, or even just sprout spikes for simple stabbing weapons.
With these abilities seemingly limited only by his twisted imagination, Venom has tangled with many of his world's heavy hitters. He's defeated Spider-Man without having a host, resisted Ghost Rider's penance stare, and shaken off the Hulk's infamous thunderclap. That's right, he's even taken blows from the likes of the Juggernaut and the Hulk.
Even if Venom does get injured, the symbiote can rapidly heal its host. From broken bones, impalement through the chest, or even blasts from an anti-tank rocket. He's also so speedy that he can catch up to bullets in mid-flight. But if he doesn't feel like it, he'll just take the shot and spit it back with deadly force.
He's strong enough to bust down metal doors with his fists, tear apart large military trucks, or throw cars several blocks away.
I mean, part of that's gotta be Brock. Have you seen how much that dude can lift?
Most impressively, Venom once held up a giant carnival ride similar to a Ferris wheel, even after getting struck by one of his worst weaknesses, a sound gun.
A sound gun? That's pretty lame. So, like, I can just beat him if I scream really loud?
With enough sound
Yeah,
or
well,
literal
well,
firepower, yes, you could force the symbiote to expose the vulnerable host underneath. Though I should note that repeated exposure has helped Venom build up some tolerance. Also, while the symbiote is highly versatile, Venom is not exactly a strategist. Unsurprising given his apparent insanity.
I like being bad. It makes me happy.
The symbiote also requires a diet containing the chemical phenethylamine.
Venom, what? You, like, buy that at the store, or...?
No, it's found in certain fungi, chocolate, and brain matter, which the symbiote greatly hungers for.
Oh, great! Now it eats brains! God, this guy is literally a living nightmare.
Eddie? Is that you?
There's no more Eddie and no more symbiote. Only Venom.
Oh boy.
In his personal mission to drive crime from Gotham City, Batman has faced dozens of foes, each more vile and cunning than the last. But none challenged his sheer willpower more than the monstrous man called Bane.
Bane's life was screwed from the start. He was born into prison and made to carry out his dead dad's life sentence. Talk about carrying the sins of your father. I mean, who puts a baby in jail? Couldn't it just, like, crawl through the bars? Did they make a baby jail? So many questions.
The child spent his dawning years in captivity, forced to fend for himself against a cruel and unforgiving world. Then one day, a fateful accident caused something to snap inside him.
I'm guessing his neck.
No, well, it should have. Instead, the boy slipped into a coma where he saw a vision of his future self. A man standing above all other men.
Future self told him he would be second to none, so long as he could conquer the power of fear, which is apparently shaped like a bat. Would you look at that? What are the odds?
When the child awoke, he began his journey to conquer that fear through the power of bloody murder.
Hell yeah! That's also when the prison warden called him a bane to everything holy.
And that's why he's named Bane.
2 out of 10. Anyway, it wasn't long before Bane caught wind of a certain bat ruling Gotham City by fear. But he got to work trying to become the ridiculously jacked guy he saw in his dream, so he could take down Batman once and for all.
As he grew up, Bane entered an intense daily workout regimen, not just of his body, but his mind as well. He educated himself in 10 languages, escapology, combat tactics, and several martial arts, including a few he created himself.
Bane pretty much became a legend across the prison, so to remind everybody who was in charge, the warden decided to make an example of him.
See, this place wasn't just a prison. The army of Santa Prisca was conducting tests on human subjects with an experimental formula called Venom.
Because super soldier formulas are all the rage.
The procedure had killed every previous test subject, but Bane proved hardier than expected.
And after he had a taste, Bane wanted Venom for himself. So he faked his own death, punched a few sharks to death, and liberated the whole prison single-handed. The inmates joined his cause, and he took his new super soldier serum to Gotham City.
Using a special apparatus on his wrist, Bane can administer a dosage of Venom directly into his brain at will. Doing so dramatically increases his muscle mass, turning him into one of Gotham City's most ferocious physical threats. He's destroyed the Batmobile with his bare hands, jumped off skyscrapers without injury, and lifted loaded armored trucks which weigh tens of thousands of pounds. And then there's the feat he's most famous for, breaking the back of Batman. But Bane didn't just break bone. He literally put poor Batman into a coma.
Well, years later, Batman did get his revenge. After swapping powers with Superman, he paid Bane a visit and broke his everything.
And somehow, this didn't kill him.
He's one tough son of a bitch, and if he needs it, Bane can crank up his flow of venom for more strength and faster healing. But when he first tried this, it came at a cost.
Turns out, an overdose of venom can temporarily deteriorate one's mind, turning Bane into a mindless, muscle-bound beast.
Came to it's also surprisingly addictive. So eventually, Bane swore off the stuff for some time.
But this only let Bane prove that he is just as dangerous even without the performance-enhancing drug. He's been pelted by dozens of bricks at once and taken countless stabbings and bullets without even reacting. He once cauterized his own wound with a blowtorch and even got thrown hundreds of yards by a Elasti-Woman and got right back up ready to fight.
Still off the juice, Bane is strong enough to tear down a stone prison wall, casually rip off an armored guy's limbs, and take out dozens of members of the League of Assassins, solo. But if he really needs to, he can always fall off the wagon and get back on the Venom.
Bane's absurd power is matched only by his intelligent mind. He possesses a photographic memory, rivals Ra's al Ghul in chess, and deduced the identity of Batman in 1 year when nobody else could figure it out.
Yeah, Bane's pretty ridiculous, but it's no secret that he's at his best when he's got that Venom juice pumping through his veins. Luckily for him, he eventually developed a form of Venom that didn't turn his brain into mush, and he then soon got addicted to that stuff all over again.
Still, Bane has proven over and over again that with or without Venom, anyone who crosses him will beg for mercy and receive none.
When we fought before, I broke the bat. Today, I break the man.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But all this strength talk has reminded me I gotta bulk up, and the best way to do it is with a delicious home-cooked meal.
You'll love how good it
Не искам просто да го гледам. Това ще го пропускам.
Step aside, niños. It's bad. No, it's something else.
Добре, вече ме намисли да ме плаши.
You're mine! Yummy! Oh, your blood's spicy! Delicious! Big Daddy and fun!
You shut up!
So, you fall back on cheap magic tricks, trying to disappear. Yet you don't know how to be truly invisible. Now, I give you permission to die. You're just like all the others. Broken. Unbreakable. What's happening? the weasel!
Venom оцелял тази атака, бе.
That can't
Oh my
taste good.
God.
Both fighters were intense physical threats, but only one wielded the superior Venom.
Venom had many advantages over Bane. Speed, durability, versatility, and even strength.
Bane's peak strength was at
that's
most
what
just
Venom-
enough to lift a
Venom is
27-ton
also
car.
Venom.
Meanwhile, Venom was strong enough to stop a falling carnival ride and hold it up by himself, even while in a weakened state. Comparing it to similar carnival rides, my very conservative estimate would place this thing weighing around 200 tons.
Way more impressive than anything Bane ever lifted.
Wow.
Of course, Bane was smarter. However, even if he had deduced Venom's key weaknesses to fire and sound, he wasn't really equipped to take advantage of them.
As for speed, Venom could catch bullets. Even better, he could catch up to bullets in midair. He had to move over 1,500 miles per hour to do that.
Ironically enough, almost twice the speed of sound.
Surprisingly, their durability levels were pretty even. Both have taken hits from Superman-level beings and lived to fight another day.
The big difference being Venom's healing factor was far superior. He could fight on par with Juggernaut, who can make 4.8 magnitude earthquakes with his bare hands.
But it's not like Batman ever needed super strength to knock Bane out cold.
In time, Venom's superior strength, speed, durability, and versatility simply overwhelmed Bane.
Looks like Venom was the real Bane of this fight.
The winner is Venom.
Hey, stick around to find out who's coming up next on Death Battle. And if you want to see behind-the-scenes commentary on the episode, then click that box and start a 30-day free first membership trial. Thanks for watching. Yeah.
Ah, next time. Окей. Добре, явно това беше. Да? Го очаквате. Значи това беше целият епизод на Dead Battle. Благодаря, че ме гледахте. Ако искате още, можете да напишете в коментарите, за да гледам поне по-предишните епизоди, защото много малко епизоди съм гледал, въпреки че са много. И това беше. Аре. Още ли се тук? Окей, айде, смятам.